guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Jar Jar Binks.
That's right.
We're going to talk about Ahmed Best and the lies the media has been perpetuating about poor Ahmed Best. They've been using him for the last couple years now to attack the fandom. Because don't you know, you should feel really, really bad about Ahmed Best. He went through a very hard spell after the fandom Menace, but it wasn't because of the fans that Ahmed Best was hitting that low. It was because of the media. And he said as much himself, but now we're going to dig the lie up again.
Right, because they're mad because he said if he would direct a Star Wars property of some kind, that he would by all means listen to some of the things the fans had to say.
Yeah.
So that we can't have that. So now the media has to come out and slap it back down again.
Oh my God. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're almost 100,000 subs, guys. Thanks so much for the support. And comicbook.com. I almost said comic book resources because I thought it was the same difference, right? Same difference. But yeah, they're talking about how Star Wars doesn't know what the hell to do. Lucasfilm doesn't know what to do with Star Wars now. And they threw out the idea of Ahmed Best doing something. And, you know, he said he wouldn't confirm or deny that he would be helming something down the line, but he did address the topic of the fans, saying he would absolutely use them as a resource if given the opportunity. I don't hate the fans or the fandom. Best wrote in a tweet, I've been a fan since the 70s. If I were to direct a Star Wars movie, which, well, that's all I can say about it, I would ask for help from the fans. From the fans. It's a secret weapon that not a lot of movies have.
Exactly, because look what happened with Sonic.
Look what happened with Sonic, and that's another video we're going to have. It is definitely good to be on the side of fandom. But, we can't have Ahmed Best say something nice about the Star Wars fandom without the scuzzy media throwing shade at the fans. Because they're jealous. I think they're legitimately jealous of actual fans. Because a lot of the people writing these articles,
They're just pissed because they liked The Last Jedi and they're mad that a lot of fans didn't. If you want to, that's what the whole thing is. Yeah,
so here we go. Star Wars does have an already built-in fan base regardless of what a new project might be, but that base hasn't always been the kindest. Toxicity has surrounded the release of the last two movies in the Skywalker saga.
Okay, can I say something for a second? I think you're going on about these toxic people that, you know, chased whatever, Kelly Marie Tran off of, you know, Twitter and all that. What they failed to mention repeatedly was Ryan Johnson was going around calling people man babies. He was mocking outright Star Wars YouTubers who were actually supporting him. He was mocking them outright. He's been nothing but a troll himself, but they never ever mentioned that.
No.
And how about the people that were trolling? There was a bunch of shippers that were sending death threats to, like, you know, J.J. Abrams and to Adam Driver's wife, apparently, and all that. But, of course, that's fine. It's only the fandom Menace or people that they think don't like The Last Jedi they have a problem with. Even the toxic behaviors on both sides, we're going to ignore the toxic behavior that refutes our argument.
Yeah, so let's delve into this a little bit more. I got a couple things I want to read here and I want to talk about. The lies around Ahmed Best. The lies surrounding Ahmed Best and how I think a lot of this was actually brought on by the media and not by the actual fans. The hatred and online bullying from some fans, in quotes, goes back even further than that, though, with Best himself on the receiving end thanks to the disdain for Jar Jar. But being the upstanding performer he is, Best is following in the footsteps of Ryan Johnson and recognizing that the majority of the franchise's fans, the actual fans, are just folks who love to see Star Wars succeed.
Whoa. So only people who are the real fans are the ones who agree with every choice that's made in Star Wars. That's what they're saying. That is a load of shit.
Real fans root for something they like to succeed, not for something they dislike to fail. So listening to those folks isn't the worst idea.
Whoa, wait a minute. I've said multiple times, like, if you could find something you like about it, that's great. I wanted the Star Wars movies to be good. I wanted it to be good probably more than anybody I knew. I was the most excited about it, was I not?
Yeah.
I wanted it to be good. I wanted it so much. I was so disappointed when they were garbage. So don't give me this crap. Also, real fans, based on what? Is there like a check sheet? Is it like a scorecard to see if you're a real fan or not?
Yes, you like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's a load of crap.
That's it.
And if it was just a vocal minority, as they keep trying to spin this bullshit narrative repeatedly, if it was a vocal minority, how come Solo failed right afterwards? How come, the Rise of Skywalker didn't do well right afterwards? People just didn't care anymore. You lost them after The Last Jedi because they're like, this doesn't make any sense. It's all over the place. There's clearly no plan. I don't like it now. It's not fun. And you lost them. You cannot, if it's a vocal minority, globally, the box office couldn't go down as much as it did over a vocal minority.
Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is, again, another one of these stupid pop culture media outlets attacking fans, using tragedy and misrepresenting what actually happened. Because let's go back in time a little bit. Now, this writer, I don't know how old this writer is, but I'm old enough to remember when The Phantom Menace came out. I was a young adult when The Phantom Menace came out. And I was there. I was on the message boards. I was on the force.net all the time following us.
Too.
Oh, you were? See, we didn't even know each other
No.
then. A couple years later, we'd meet.
Yeah.
I used to look for spoilers all the time on alderon.net, which isn't around anymore.
I remember alderon.net.
And so I was hanging out on these sites all the time. I remember this in real time. I remember when it went down. And it wasn't there were fans that had issues with Jar Jar, but I remember the media attacking Jar Jar Binks as a racial stereotype.
Yeah, I never got racial stereotype out of it. I just thought Gungans, I didn't like Gungans. I didn't think, they're black people, so it's racial stereotyping. The only person that put that idea in my head was the media. The people that came up with that load of shit was the media. Before that, it was just, it's an alien character. I honestly didn't know that whoever voiced it, what the color of their skin was, nor did I care. It was just like alien character, and the character was annoying, but I never ever thought that was because of the actor.
Yeah. So now we've got comicbook.com 20 plus years later, twisting everything around and saying that was the awful fandom that potentially drove Ahmed Best to think about killing himself. Because Ahmed Best, he disappeared for years. He came back a couple of years ago. I know he did a live stream on someone's YouTube channel.
He was a celebration.
But he had been laying low, and a lot of people didn't know what actually happened. He almost killed himself. This tweet from a year and a half ago. Read this. 20 years next year, I faced a media backlash.
Not fan backlash.
Media backlash that still affects my career today. This was the place I almost ended my life. It's still hard to talk about it. I survived, and now this little guy's my gift for survival. He's got a kid. Would this be a good story for my solo show? Let me know.
Yeah.
The media. I'm sorry. The media almost drove poor Ahmed Best to kill himself. This is from 1999. Slate from 1999, writing an article on all of the awful racial stereotypes in The Phantom Menace. These articles and these newspaper articles and TV spots, you saw this stuff like all the time when this movie came out. A lot of it's not archived anymore because it's been so long. But I remember all this stuff floating around. And while I do remember some of the fans not liking Jar Jar, a lot of people didn't like Jar Jar, but the harshest criticism came from the media.
Right. Most fans didn't even think about the fact that, it's clearly a black guy. No one ever thought that.
Nobody thought about it.
Nobody thought that to the media. And what I want to point out for one moment, though, what is so funny to me is the media is going on about, they're the ones that brought up the stereotyping thing then. Now we have things like, we can't have Snake Eyes be a white blonde guy like he was because clearly if he's a ninja, he's gotta be Asian. I'm like, most of the stupid stereotyping we hear today, the ridiculous stereotyping we're seeing in movies, is the current regime in Hollywood. Like, look, Frosta has to be like she's, Eskimo. I'm like, it is the stupidest thing. They stereotype themselves so badly. And obviously, and the media kisses their ass and loves everything they do for it. Well, how dare these racists out there say that, that's wrong when they're not, when the people out there are like, wait, so Snake Eyes has to be Asian because he's a ninja? You racist! I'm like, but the media is perpetuating the racism, as is Hollywood. And I'm just pointing that out there. The ones who are being the most racist are these people.
Yeah, and this is why I think a lot of why George Lucas pulled away too. I mean, yeah, there was fan backlash.
Well, George was just annoying.
Yeah, he was annoying, but I do remember the media. I mean, this is coming from 1999, and they're talking about how Watto was a Jewish merchant stereotype.
Yeah, never got that.
I never got that either.
I'm like, if you go looking for problems, you're going to find them. I never got. They're alien characters. I never thought, oh yeah, that's the Jewish people right there. Oh look, that's got to be Swedes. You know, I never thought to myself.
Swedes.
I never thought to myself that they're aliens.
Why then is everything offensive except the Swedish chef? Isn't he a?
There you go.
Why isn't the Swedish chef? Why aren't they calling for your burgie? Why aren't they calling for? Why aren't they calling for the Swedish chef to be
the chef?
The chef, because isn't he a stereotype that's not even real Swedish? He's speaking.
I know. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, don't even give them ideas. But they're looking for problems that aren't there. And this is what keeps happening. And they keep blaming. They keep doing really, really, really shitty things and then blaming the fans for it. And I'm so tired of the fact that if you don't agree with something, if you don't like a movie, it's not just because you didn't like the movie, because maybe you personally don't like something. And that's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion. But no. It's because you're obviously a racist, sexist troll.
Yep.
Because you didn't like it. You might not have ever spoke out against it or anything. Doesn't matter. The very fact that you didn't like it makes you these things. That is the media. The media has been perpetuating that. We saw it with She-Ra. We saw it with Star Wars. We saw it with Ghostbusters. It goes clear back to poor Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, it does. And they talk about Jar Jar. They talk about Watto. They talk about the Nemoidians being Asian stereotypes.
Yeah, I don't.
But this is okay.
Oh,
Here,
wow.
this is coming from this article was written in 1999. In fairness to George Lucas, he gives the Japanese trait to at least one heroine, Amidala, and there is a black man on the council. and the true evil in this movie, the Phantom Menace, resides in a handsome white man and a toe-headed tot. So because Vader and Palpatine are white dudes, it's okay that they're the bad guys. They're evil. Amidala, but isn't that cultural appropriation? Because Natalie Portman's not Asian, but she dressed like a geisha.
That she could have got away with it. Now they scream of cultural appropriation.
And we have a token black on the Jedi Council. And a bunch of weird aliens.
I have some things right into my head that sound like Samuel L. Jackson, but I'll refrain from saying them.
1999, this was written, and this is one of many, many articles written like this. I remember the media being outraged about Jar Jar Binks.
But this is when this whole thing started, I think, was around this time when they started to set themselves up in these platforms.
As being the moral authority.
Yeah. So I honestly didn't realize it went back that far, but I would say, honestly, yeah, it's probably about when. But it was not the fans.
It wasn't
that upset him. It was the media, and the media telling the fans what to think. And back then, people believed the media.
Did Ahmed best throw shade at the fans? Not at all. In fact, he seemed very excited to see them. We saw him at Celebration.
Oh yeah, the fans were all happy he was there. No one was like, "Oh, it's Jar Jar, boo!" Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it's Jar Jar, woo!" You know, I was there. Was right there when I came on stage.
And a lot of people, including Squid King, grew up with the prequels being their Star Wars, Clone Wars being their Star Wars. And I think Jar Jar has, endeared himself to a lot of younger people now. But to say that Ahmed Best almost killed himself because of the fandom, when he has never said that.
Oh, they're saying the Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace didn't even exist back then.
Let's talk about that. This is coming from Wired. This was written in July of 2017, months before The Last Jedi came out, months before all the YouTube channels exploded with the backlash against The Last Jedi. How the guy who played Jar Jar Binks survived the Phantom Menace. 2017, summer of 2017. The Phantom Menace, the whole concept of the Phantom Menace, I think was invented by the media.
I agree.
It was invented by the media, and they talk about how, he's finding peace now, but you go through the article, and again, they're talking about the fans being these awful people, and they already had it in their minds before The Last Jedi came out, that Star Wars fans were toxic and terrible.
Only because they didn't like, not everybody, unanimously loved The Force Awakens. I can't speak, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it's a pretty lengthy article, but they talk about the toxic fans. Yeah, there was a site called Jar Jar Must Die, was launched before the film's released. Best creation was so toxic that Jar Jar gag wound up being jammed in the last minute into that year's South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. That's true. But again, the media was the biggest problem. Throughout the controversy, Best had largely remained quiet. He wanted George Lucas to talk. George said it happened with the Ewoks, it happened with Chewbacca, it happened with Lando. He was used to this. He knew what it was going to happen. And actually, Jar Jar, the voice, was George Lucas's idea. He gave him a whole bunch of choices, different voices. It sounds like a rap.
Yeah, but he could do.
That he could do, and that's the one that Lucas went with. So he was doing as he was told.
Right,
you know?
But it had nothing to do with the color of his skin. It was just doing voices. And I mean, honestly, I never sat there and thought, oh, that's a black guy when I heard it. Did you?
No.
Oh, clearly that's a racial stereotype. I didn't even know the guy was black that did the voice at the time. I didn't know. I didn't pay attention. I was actually really busy then. I didn't pay attention because it didn't matter. It's a character. It's not him. It's not a racial stereotype.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, this is just really, this shows, like, again, that I think the media has had it out for Star Wars fans, and they're using folks like Ahmed Best, they're using people like Kelly Marie Tran, to make a point, which is Star Wars fans are toxic and terrible, and they need to just shut up. And that's not true. There's and the reason they're doing it and they're going after Star Wars fans is up until recently, it has been the biggest science fiction, science fantasy franchise on the planet.
And are there people out there that are toxic? Yes. Is it the vast majority of people? No. Is it anybody who doesn't like a certain episode or movie? Hell no. I'm so tired of hearing this. If you don't universally love everything they give you, every bowl of crap they feed you, then you aren't a real fan. That's a load of shit. Sorry, but it is. I'm so tired of hearing it. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean you're racist, sexist, misogynist, whatever. It means you don't like that particular movie or episode. I'm so...
I would like to see them bring Jar Jar back and redeem him through like a Disney Plus show or something. Because there was actually talks when, Lucas was going to do Attack of the Clones, that he was actually going to have Jar Jar drop the accent because he was a senator now. And then he would slip in and out of the accent and, regular speak or whatever, because, he wasn't, it was kind of like, I guess, like a modern day senator coming from like, some backwater town and then learning to speak properly. And that's what he was going to do with them. But then he just kind of caved in and cut Jar Jar pretty much out of episode 2 and 3. I would love to see him come back and actually do something with Jar Jar, an older Jar Jar maybe that, kind of redeems the character.
See, I really have no desire to see Jar Jar again.
No, if they could do something that would... I'm just saying, like, they have an opportunity, they could do something to make him more palatable, I guess.
I just couldn't stand it, but it had absolutely nothing to do with the voice actor. It had everything to do with the choices that George Lucas made. And when I don't like Jar Jar, I always with my head, well, that was dumb, Lucas. It wasn't ever because this guy should kill himself because he's a stereotype. I never, ever thought of that until I heard about it years later. I was like, wait, what?
That never came up that I can recall. And we were on these forums. I was on these forums. This author probably wasn't even around or was very, very young when this happened. But again, it goes back to The Last Jedi. If you didn't like The Last Jedi, that means you wanted Ahmed Best to kill himself and Kelly Marie Tran to kill herself. I'm like, what the hell?
Exactly.
That escalated.
Well, I guess that Ryan Johnson and all the Last Jedi lovers just want all these people to kill themselves. I mean, this whole thing is just stupid. And I'm so tired of it. You're allowed to like things. That is completely fine. You're allowed to not like things. That is completely fine. And if you're a fan of something, you don't have to love everything they hand you. I mean, I use the records all the time, but like just because you have a band you love, not every song they put out is going to be a hit. Not every song they put out everybody's going to like. And it's okay. It's somehow acceptable to not buy that record or not like that song if it's a record. But for whatever reason, Hollywood, and when it comes to movies and IPs, if you're a fan, if you want to even say you are a fan, you have to love everything they give you. You're not allowed to talk with your wallet. You are required to be there. If you're a woman, you need to watch every female-led movie, even if you don't like it, because you have to represent and support women. Well, I'm a woman who doesn't like what you like, and no one supports me. Actually, they step over me and pretend I don't exist. So I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is just really sad, though, to see them dig up poor Ahmed Best now and use him as a shield. And I would expect nothing less, though. I mean, the media is pretty disgusting, and they have been for years. Again, this article was written in 1999. It could have been written last year.
Right. And the thing is, Ahmed Best they might want him to do something with Star Wars with directing. Go him! 100%. Let him do it. If he wants to do it, let him. And he's saying that he would actually, by all means, take fans into account, which is a refreshing change.
Yeah, they're punishing him for that, though, aren't they?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
I don't hate the fans or the fandom.
Well, you should, because they almost got you killed. No, the media did.
20 years ago, I faced a media backlash that still affects my career. I don't hate the fans or fandom. Just compare and contrast those
I'm
two.
a fan. I would ask for help. It's a secret weapon that not a lot of movies have. That they basically saying Hollywood keeps ignoring the fans and they shouldn't do that. That's basically what he just said.
Yeah. So the media is going to punish him for that. Because how very dare he?
How dare he?
Now he's their shield. Before he was their punching bag, and
Right.
now he's their shield. So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.